Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the happy nail polish. It's super adorable and it's awesome because the little top comes off to have your own little, I smushed it, your own little nail brush to actually paint. After you straighten it out, of course, but I think it's super cool this way. I have to straighten this out, but awesome. So for bands I used 89 black and then 252 red. Then you have your face. I have 9mm pony beads, and then you can use 2 bands for each eye. Then the cheeks, the mouth, and then in the tutorial that I'm going to do today, I'm going to actually change the color of the little black part in here for the brush and change that to clear, so it's 8 clear for that portion too. So we'll get started. First you have the eyes. Like I said, I'm going to use the 9mm pony beads. You can use wrapped bands. If you want a large eye, it's 2 bands. If you want a smaller eye, it's just 1 band. But you put it on the hook, wrap it around into a figure 8, then grab both bands, wrap them around again, and then pull through 2 bands that are the color of your nail polish bottle. And that would be a wrapped band eye band, and you want 2 of those. Then we have the cheeks. To make those, it's just 1 band, whatever color you want the cheek to be, on the hook, wrapped around once into the figure 8. Grab both bands, wrap them around again, and then pull through 2 bands that are the color of your nail polish bottle. Like that. And you want 2 cheeks too. So we'll make those, and then we'll make the brush with the wand. We'll start with 5 bands that will end up being the color of the little brush portion down here. I'm just going to put them all on the hook nicely next to each other, like that. And then I'm going to use the clear bands. You just take that band, put it on your hook, double it, pull it out, and then slide over your 5 bands for the brush. Then bring the other end back up to the top. And you want to grab your brush portion and pull it down. It's going to kind of want to come up and be all crazy for a little bit, but we'll fix that after a while. And then you're going to want to pull through 7 more doubled bands. So again, just on the hook, wrap it around once, pull it through everything on your hook, and put it back on. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Like that. Now I'm just going to keep that on my hook. We'll get our loom, and we're going to work on 4 pins first, so everything's double banded unless I say differently. But from the center pin out to the 4 pins around, we're going to take 2 bands. And this is the kind of top portion here of the wand. And for the center, it's a cap band. It's 2 bands wrapped around 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. Then you'll take your hook, go in through the cap band, grab the top 2 bands wherever they are, and then pull them up through the cap band and back towards themselves. And do that all the way around. Like that. Then we have this on our hook. We want to put it on to our 4 pins here, or 4-pin portion. We're just going to go and grab the 4 bands that are up here on the top left, take them off onto our hook, and then I'm going to slide down the first 2 bands that are part of that brush portion. Take them, slide them down over my hook, and then I'll put the black bands back onto the pin where they were. So now it looks like this. Then we're just going to turn around, go back to the other corner, and do the same thing. Pick up those 4 bands, lift them up, pull them through the other half of our wand portion, and then put them back onto the pin. So like that. And you want to kind of pull it over to the side a little bit, push your bands as far down as they'll go, and then we'll do this now just because it's in the way a little bit. I take my 1 band, whatever color is the color of your bottom brush here, and then put on your hook, double it, grab both ends, double it again, and then I'm going to grab all 5 of those bands and slide that cap band over, and just bring it down to kind of right before where it turns into the clear portion on mine. And I can take my hook out, and it should kind of stay together a little bit better. And then if you want to, even you could cut these so it looks more like a real brush. It's up to you. And you could even add another band if it's not quite staying together the way you want. But there. So now what we want to do, so we're going to go around our 4 pins, and we're going to make a little X row. So it's still 2 bands. You're going to put them on the pin, twist them, and then put it on the pin across. And you're going to do that all the way around. Like that. Then you want to go and do another row right on top of this. So push this down a little bit. And this row is going to be still the 2 bands, and you're just going to put them on normally. So just right across, all the way around. So like that. And then when we flip, we're only going to be flipping the middle 4 bands. So we have that, the 4 bands from that 4-pin starburst type thing we did first. Then you have 4 bands in the middle from the X row, and then there's 4 bands on the top from the regular row we put around. So we just want to go in the middle and grab those 4 X row bands and flip those over the top. And do that all the way around. And you always want to check to make sure you still have 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom, and there's no connecting pieces in between here. Like that. Then push that down. Now we're going to do 2 more rows, kind of just like that, where we put on our regular row, 2 bands all the way around. like that, and then only flip the middle 4 bands. Push it down, and we'll do our next and last row with this. So again, row all the way around. Like that. Flip the middle 4. And then once you've done that, I'm going to unstick the center a little bit. So once I have that done, I'm going to go back around and I'm going to flip those bottom 4 bands that we avoided before. So flip those over. Push down. So it should look like something like this. And now we're going to do 5 rows all the way around, flipping the bottom 4 each time. So this will be my first row. I'll flip the bottom 4. That's 1. Two. That's 3. Four. And 5. Just making sure. So once you get to here, you just take your hook, probably push everything down first, then take your hook, go in through the bands on every pin, take them off, and put them on your hook. Then you'll take 2 bands and pull them through all the bands that are on your hook. I'm going to make a slip knot. And then before you tie it tight, you kind of want to take the top and smush it so it's flat. And then once you have that, then pull tight on your bands. Hide your tail. Like that. If you have a lot of bulk kind of right here, and then transitions to the smaller piece that's just from flipping over that middle section. You just take your hook in and loosen those up a little bit in that row or two above where we flipped over those bottom 4-pin ones. Just kind of do that, loosen it up a little bit. I kind of like mine a little curved. Just kind of reminds me like a fancy one. And plus, now I'm going to take this, take my fingers, go in by the wand, grab all those bands, and this little portion here should stretch out as well. So that'll help pull it down so it's not bulky too. So that is our wand. Once you have that made, then we'll start with the bottle. Some of my 4-pin ones are a little looser. Sweet! Then you want your loom back. And starting somewhere in the middle section here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7th pin up or so, if you want to take, and we're going to make a little 4-pin square, 2 bands, cross them, this is the opening to get the brush into the bottle, like that. Then I'll go around right on top of that with the 2 bands normally. Like that. Flip your bottom 4. Push down. Now we're going to increase. So up here in the top right corner, I can just pick up the top 2 bands and bring them up to the middle pin, or over to the middle pin. There's no crossing of my bands here. The one that's on this pin comes around to the pin over here on the left. And this one over here on the right comes down to the one below it. Then we're also going to increase this one down here, but I have to pick up all 4 bands, bring them to the center, and now I can grab the top 2 and bring them back to the pin they were on. And that's so we don't have any crossing here as well. Like that. Now we'll do a row all the way around, 2 bands. Now when you flip, you're either going to have 4 on the bottom to flip, leaving 4 on the pin, or 2 on the bottom to flip, leaving 4 on the pin. So there's 2, 2, 4, and 2. Push that down. We're going to increase again the kind of a triangle pins. So right here on the lower right, I have to pick up all 4 bands, bring them down a pin, and then I can bring the top 2 back. For this one up here in the center, I can just pick up the top 2 bands, see which side they're coming from. They're coming from the left, so I'm going to put them over on the left side. And then the other 2 will go over on the right. And then down here on the lower left, this one I can just pick up the top 2 bands, I think. Grab the wrong ones. You always got to make sure you have the top 2 or the bottom, or the top 2 when you do it, not a mixture. There we go. So I can pick up the top 2 and bring them down. Now what we also want to do is a center pin right here. We just want to grab all the 4 bands that are there and pull them down a pin, just so they're out of the way, or they're not kind of hidden up inside. So it should look like this now. We're going to do a row all the way around. Like that. And again, you'll either be flipping the bottom 2 or the bottom 4. There's 2, 2, 4 on the end, 2, 2, 4, and 2. Push them down. Now we're going to increase again. We're going to increase this bottom pin here in the center. So just pick up the top 2 bands, see what side they're coming from, and bring them to that side. Then grab the other 2 bands and bring them over to the other side. And then for up here, we need to increase these 2 pins. So we need to make a little room first. So I'm going to take the bands that are on these 2 pins and move them up a pin. Start over here, just pick up all 4, stretch them up. Same thing on the other side. And then over here on the right, I can grab the top 2 bands and just pull them up to the empty pin, because these bands come around to this pin. But on the other side, I need to pick up all 4 bands, bring them up a pin, and then bring the top 2 back. Like that. So now we're going to do 3 rows all the way around. 2 bands. I don't often paint my nails because I usually chip it off, and then I kind of freak out because I like to have them all looking nice, and it's very like that. So our first row, we're either going to be flipping the bottom 4 or the bottom 2. So here's 4, 2, 2, 4, 4, 2, 4, 2, 2, 4, 4, and 2. And push those down. And do our second row all the way around. I used to paint my nails all the time when I was a kid or teenager. And I painted them all the weird colors, or if it was Halloween, they'd be orange, purple, and black, or if I had Christmas was red, green, and white, and I always liked kind of being all fancy with them, but I think I had a lot more time then to just sit around and paint my nails. Just like this. And now this time you're going to be able to flip the bottom 4 all the way around. Got nail painting on my mind. I don't mind fake nails as long as they're like the kind of sticker press-on ones, because those ones are easy to come off and they don't seem to do as much damage to my nails, but They have to be short too, otherwise I can't seem to do as much as I want to do. That's our second row. One more row all the way around to go. 2 bands. It's when I went to New York last year, or this year. Yeah, it was this year. There's one evening that I went out to eat with Chun and his family at a, I guess, Chinese restaurant. And I had put on some nails earlier in the day, or like the night before or something, just, you know, to feel pretty and stuff like that. And we got to the restaurant and they gave us cans of soda to open, but I couldn't get it open with my fingernails. So like that, with the bottom 4. So I'm sitting there playing and trying to get it open, and because this was a very kind of authentic restaurant, they didn't have any like spoons that I could try and jam under the tab to flip it up, and all they had were chopsticks. And I'm like, this is not going to work. I'm like, okay, maybe I just won't drink anything. And then eventually Chun, who was sitting across the table from me, I think he noticed that like I was having trouble, so he was like, you want me to open your soda? So mortified, I was like, yes, please. I took those nails off as soon as I got back to the hotel. So next we're going to do our eye row. So you want your eyes. So it's 2 bands right here and right here. Next spot will be an eye. And then bands, and then eyes are the next one. And then 2 bands around the rest. But it was funny. At least I got to drink my soda, so. I felt definitely very embarrassed. I'm like, I'm a dork. Like that. Flip your bottom 4. I remember one of the first times that I put on fake nails, I actually used all the glue and put them on all nice, and thought they were great, and thought I was doing so well with them. Then I went out that evening with one of my friends from high school. This was a long time ago. And we went to a restaurant, and as I'm eating, it's like I noticed that just touching things, my fingernails are coming more and more loose, and so by like the end of the evening I had pulled them all off, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not any good at this. Next is going to be our cheek row. So you want your cheeks. So again, start 2 bands down here at the bottom, and then 2 more, and then cheeks. I can get my, there we go. And another cheek after bands. And then 2 bands around the rest. And then my job that I had previously, kind of fake nails did not work very well with that, or any kind of nails decoration, so it's only been recently in the last couple years that I've been doing like this, playing with my nails. Flip in the bottom 4. It's funny though, because like you paint your fingernails and like within a day you could have like chips in them, or you notice that you messed up something. But if you paint your toenails, they'll stay there forever and ever unless you take them off. Which, remember to take it off. It's not good for your nails to actually be covered with fingernail polish anyways. Since we get here, I'm going to loosen up some of this. I want to be careful. There's no cap band here in the center, so don't just go in there, grab, and start pulling. You kind of just want to be gentle and loosen it up. Just in the center. You can take your hook and poke it in wherever you want or on the outside, but just in the center, be careful how you loosen that up. Push the bands down. Now we need to put on our mouth. It's one band, whatever color you want the mouth to be. I'm going to put it on my hook, wrap it around once, so I doubled it. And I'm going to take it off and hold it like that. And then by the left eye here, I'm going to take my hook, go in through the bands there, grab that doubled band, pull it up through, up over the top of the pin, go, and then I could pull the band down below to the bottom of the pin. Hanging on to it still, I'm going to go in by the other eye and do the same thing. Pull that band up through, up over the top of the pin, pull it down, and now you can see it wrapped around the bottom of the pin. Once it's there, you can pull it up over the top for our smile. Now we're going to do 3 rows all the way around. One day I'll get all fancy and have them on more often, but as long as I'm not running around like outside and gardening or doing yard work or scrubbing a gazillion dishes, which is hard not to do when you have 6 people in your house. It's like that. First row, flip your bottom 4. I usually like the way my nails look by themselves. They're kind of have a French tip look to them, so I'm okay with it. Let's talk about it. Makes me want to go find some fake nails to put on now. Push down, so that was 1 row. Our second row all the way around. And then you buy fake nails. You have to go through the hassle of finding the nails that actually fit your fingernails and then wondering if you got the wrong ones on there, and if you do, then they hurt or they don't sit quite right. You don't want to buy 2 boxes of 1 nail just so you can have fake nails. At least I don't, but like that. Flip your bottom 4. That's our second row. 1 more row around. I'd actually gotten the little fake nails to put on my daughter just to see what she would do with them. She's always like, if I wear them myself, then she's always playing with them or telling me they're pretty or whatnot. So I got her ones with little owls on them. And she surprisingly sat through the entire time of me putting them on. They're just like little stickers basically. And that was like a super big deal for her because she does not like to be fussed over. She put them all on. She's like, beautiful. I'm like, yes, they are. Like this. Flip your bottom 4. And she starts running down the hallway screaming, Grayston, Grayston. And then, like, a minute later, she's crying, and Grayson has her nails, and he's trying to put them on his own fingers. He's like, I want some. I'm like, well, let's give them back to your sister, though. He's like, well, she didn't want them. She was taking them off. I'm like, oh. So she doesn't want them because you have them. Or she wants them because you have them, although she took them all off. Yep. Kids are so cute. Push everything down. Now we're going to reduce basically every other pin. So starting down here, I'm going to pick up the top two bands. See where they're coming from. They're coming from above. So I'm going to take them over to the other side. And then these two bands are going to go up. Then going to the next pin up here. Grab the top two bands. See where they're coming from? They're coming from above, so they're going to go below. You're just taking them to the opposite pin, basically. Then grab the other two, and they'll go up. Skip up to the next one. Top two bands. Two bands, not one. Grab the top two, they're coming from above, so I'm going to take them below. Then the other two will go above. And if you have these bands over your pin here at the end, tuck them inside. Then we'll go over to this corner. Grab the top two bands, they're coming from below, so I'm going to bring them behind the pin and bring them over to the other side. And these will come down. Then right here, top two coming from below, so they're going to go above. Other two will go below. And then next, our last one here in the middle, coming from below, so they're going to go above. And the other two will go below. Push down. Now we're going to do a row all the way around, and it's kind of long stretches between where we have bands on the pins. So still two bands, long stretch, another long stretch, and here, come back over, and here. Like that. So now we're going to flip the bands underneath, and there's going to be 4 bands from the reducing to flip over, and then 4 bands from the row before to flip over. And that'll be on all the pins that have bands. I usually do 4 and 4 just because it's a little easier and less stress on my hook and my hand. And then like once I get past these middle sections, I'll flip these over just so they're on the inside. So do the corner and flip that over. Other side. Flip that over. Middle. Flip that over. And last corner. One day I'll actually put a new base plate there. I always forget about it after I've done my tutorial. So like that. So now what we want to do is take this off the loom. So you want to push all your bands down. And then we're going to remove this by putting our hook in through the bands on the pin. Pick a far away corner first. Pick those up. And then start going around the circle. Just keep your kind of hook close to your loom as you go around. Be careful with the last couple pins, maybe covering them up just so they don't pop off. Last one. Then you'll take 2 bands and pull them through everything on your hook. Both ends on your hook. Make a slip knot. And then before you pull tight, you want to try and flatten out the bottom a little bit. You're going to have those reducing bands, so they might kind of poke out a little bit. You can pull them back in or adjust them afterwards. And then pull tight. And then hide your tail. Like that. Sweet. Just gotta loosen some of these up down here. Like that. And then what we'll do, I'm going to take my hook, go up through the center on the bottom, and make sure that I come out in the hole up at the top. Come out through there. Then I'll grab my wand, and I'm going to put my hook into like the first couple chains on the stick part, not on the lower portion with the brush. So up there, then just pull it down into the nail polish bottle. And you'll kind of feel when it gives that it's in there. So sweet. Awesome. Nice little grip for my nail polish. Sometimes when you're pulling it back out, this little black one we wrapped around the brush might come kind of sliding down, so just always slide that back up when you're doing that. So sweet. I love it. I think it's cute. Besides, what girl doesn't like to play with makeup? Well, play, not wear. Not everybody likes to wear makeup. Or can wear makeup. Or can wear nail polish. Just poking that back in there. Sweet! So hopefully you enjoyed this and it brings out the little girl in you to want to play with some pretend makeup. I think that's awesome. And I tried to make them a little bit, you know, fancier than just having the, you know, the nail polish be stuck all together one piece. That'd be kind of cool with having the wand come out. So I hope that you agree. If you make one of these, share it with me on my Instagram, which is at Crafting Fantastic. Don't forget to subscribe, give my channels and video, not my channel, but my videos thumbs up. That would be very helpful for other people finding my videos. And of course, I will have more things for you soon. Happy looming and enjoy.